What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's watch some NXT. Full disclosure, I feel like I've got something in my eye, so if I keep rubbing my eye tonight, it's that's why. Oh, look at this. We got a Lash Legend promo, and it looks like old school Saturday night's main event. I'm so excited. Oh, and Lash is from Atlanta. I did not know that. I feel like I should have known that. Are we going to get all four of them? Yes. Izzy's got one too. This is so great. I think we're going to have a good night, guys. I don't know what that hand gesture was. So Jordynne, Izzy, Lash, y'all better find somebody else to play with because I got this on lock. Okay, Miss Parker. I love this. Oh gosh. All right. So we've got cold open promos from the four women in the Fatal 4-Way tonight for the Evolution #1 title shot. And it's so old school Saturday night's main event. They're in front of a green screen, which has just been overlaid with their logo. And they're all just cutting promos about how all four of them are going to win. I love this. This is so good. Hey, Dossie, Sophie, George. Good to see you guys. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Okay. So we're here for NXT. I can't hear the commentary, though. Oh, and here comes Trick. I guess we're going to get, so we have a TNA title match tonight. Anthony, good to see you. Teflon Don, welcome. All right. So I guess we are leading off with a TNA title match. Trick Williams is defending against Josh Briggs tonight. Hey, Shamanica, good to see you. Well, listen, I love that open. That open, I know it's silly, but that might be a marked moment for me. That's just such an old retro style. It's very understated. I love seeing that. So I'm sorry to be weird with you guys, but I wear contact lenses, right? So I think I've got something going on right here. I'm going to try to fix that, and but I'm not going off camera. So avert your eyes, everybody. We're going to make sure we can get this thing working just right. So yeah, Trick Williams and Josh Briggs going one-on-one. When we last left Briggs and Inamura, they had won a big tag match, and Inamura had pinned Trick. But Inamura had made his intentions known that he was going to go for the NXT title. Now, we haven't seen a lot of juice on that yet. We don't know exactly what Inamura's pathway is going to be there, but he relinquished his TNA title match and gave it to Briggs instead. So, yeah, I feel pretty strongly that Trick is going to retain. I can't see Trick dropping the TNA title to anyone other than a TNA talent. So we'll see what comes from here. But dang, Briggs got a skull, a smoking skull on his vest, not to be confused with the smoking skull belt. But yeah, we'll do some chatting about Monday Night Raw, about Night of Champions on Saturday as well, all throughout the night. I did not get to hang with you guys at the end of Raw last night, and my morning was pretty busy, so I didn't get to make a recap video. So we'll just talk Raw in between commercial breaks tonight as well. So get your questions ready. Would love to chat that up. But here we go. TNA title on the line in the opening match. Looks like we're all kind of picking Trick tonight. So we'll see what happens. But glad to have you guys with me here at Marked by Wrestling for NXT tonight. All right. Thank you, Dossie. Hit that like button like Sami Zayn hit Karrion Kross. Yes, he did. He said, "What did the five fingers say to the face?" Smacked him up nice and good. Thank you so much, Dossie. Okay, Trick showing off some dexterity in the ring. Let's talk about it. My goodness. Yeah, I would have expected the women to main event tonight as is because not that JC Jane has been the main event of the show, but trying to find her next challenger certainly has. And we also had JC Jane not take on, but attack Blake Monroe, formerly known as Mariah May, at the end of the show last week as well. Yeah, I do really wonder. Let's see. You know what I wonder? So here's the thing. Whoever wins this Fatal 4-Way tonight is going to take on, presumably, JC Jane at Evolution. But Evolution is happening after, it's the day after Great American Bash. Exactly, Sophie. So could Blake Monroe get a title match at Great American Bash? And the winner of that would take on whoever wins tonight at Evolution? Could JC Jane drop the title, but could she not make it to Evolution? That would be very interesting. You'd only have 24 hours of a turnaround for that. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm for it, though. I'm totally fine if we take the title away from JC Jane at Great American Bash. We'll see. Or could that end up being a triple threat match at Evolution at the last minute? We'll see. I got to say, I haven't got a good look at it, but Trick's logo on the back of his shorts tonight looks like a red and white Wingstop logo. I don't know why, but it's just, maybe it's the shape of it. Crowd's chanting something. I can't tell. It sounds like they're saying lock it in, but I don't know. Oh, Trick's logo is a takeoff of the Jordynne logo. So, they'll definitely have a women's match at Great American Bash. Maybe not a women's title match, but I bet Sol Ruca might defend. It's so hard having, what is it? I guess it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Saturday night's main event? Not Saturday night's main event. 2 weeks from Night of Champions until the Evolution weekend. So yeah, there's not a ton of time to build the card because you're doing the other one first. Yeah, absolutely. My mic is a little off kilter, guys. Sorry. Let me just fix this really quick. I tell you what, Briggs is standing tall against Trick. I mean, let's face it. This kind of match is really where the gap of NXT shows. Because I like Briggs, but I don't think any of us sees him on Trick's level, even though he's a big dude, solid dude with the right kind of image overhaul, could be really dangerous. But right now, I don't know that any of us see them as competitive. But he's still making Briggs look good. Okay. Trick trying to square up against Inamura. Oh, he swings on him. Inamura says, nah. Oh, and throws Trick right into a boot from Briggs. Okay. Okay. And Briggs is posing. All right. So on that note, let's take a look at some questions tonight. Sophie, first up in the gate, your thoughts on them pulling Dom versus AJ Styles from Saturday's card. When I heard that, I mean, I know they went with Dom being injured. I just presume that either AJ or Dom has some kind of an aversion to going to Saudi Arabia, and they're being cool about it, and pulling that match from the show. Honestly, I'm glad they did because they were able to supplant it with 2 matches. So we get Rhea and Raquel on the show in a street fight, and then we also get Sammy and Karrion Kross. And yeah, Karrion Kross overdue for a PLE match. Overdue for a match on TV, period. I mean, he's been relegated to main event for a while, and every time every time he shows up in a segment backstage, he gets a good ovation. So, more power to him. So I don't mind at all that match being pulled as long as we still get that match down the pike. I imagine maybe they wait a couple weeks and they give it to us then. But good question. Good question, Sophie. Let's see. Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Question: when and who will be Blake's debut match? Well, I'll tell you what. Blake seems on a collision course with Fatal Influence. Could be JC, could be Fallon, could be Jasmine. I'll tell you what, is that if it were me and she was ready, I would put Blake Monroe at Great American Bash against, say, Jasmine Nix, and then at Evolution against Fallon Henley. Like, have her run through Fatal Influence one at a time. And if she's ready to go, give her 2 matches in that week. You just got her. But clearly she's got beef with Fatal Influence, and JC Jane is going to be tied up. And so we're going to see just how that goes. You know what I mean? So but yeah, I would be surprised if we get through the Evolution weekend and she has not had a match against someone in Fatal Influence. If not before then, because we do have a couple of weeks. For all we know, by the end of the night tonight, they'll announce her debut match for next week. They've done stuff like that before. So she could take on Jasmine Nix or Fallon Henley next week. But I 100% believe her first program will be with someone in Fatal Influence who's not JC Jane. Because you don't just walk away from throwing somebody through a table like that without there being, consequences and repercussions, as we would say. All right. Our mod father, the Teflon Don, welcome, my friend, to the chat. He's got his Would You Rather of the week, his mod father question of the day. Take a stink face from Rikishi or a suplex onto thumbtacks. Ooh. Every time I feel like I get a question from you, mod father, I feel like I want to answer a question with a question. And my question regards to the stink face is it just a standard stink face, or is there anything gimmicky about it? Because honestly, I might take the stink face. Because the tax, dude, I mean, I'm thinking of Randy Orton in 2004 hitting that RKO or missing that RKO onto that bed of thumbtacks against Mick Foley. And just, oh man, just nasty work, dude. Just nasty work. It's a lose-lose situation, that's for sure. All right. Everybody let Mod Father know your Would You Rather in the comments there. Let's see. All right, let's see. My thoughts on having a 6-match pay-per-view format on Saturday. I think 6 matches is just fine. I've gone on record in saying I don't mind the 5-match format for the non-big shows. And we, the big royal plural we of America and WWE/TKO, we kind of have to make Saudi Arabia feel special on their shows. And so they always get something a little extra, whether it's star power, title match, or extra matches from everybody else. So it doesn't bother me one bit. Also, it's earlier in the day. So, I kind of like the earlier in the day shows. It's a lot of fun. So I'll be looking forward to doing that with you guys. Standard stink face. Okay, yeah, then I'm probably going stink face. You're going to rewatch CW later this week. Okay, good call, George. I'll try to highlight, if you stay with us throughout the show, the stuff to look for. Oh, goodness. Man, Trick went for a power bomb on Briggs. Didn't get all of it, but they caught it. And Briggs was able to reverse it into a choke slam, a solid choke slam, but only got 2 because they were up in the ropes. You're taking that thumbtack spot. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Match still going strong. Crowd chanting NXT for the TNA Championship match, of course. Thoughts on Raw airing 2 hours earlier upcoming Monday. So Sophie, what I've heard is that they are double taping Raw and SmackDown on Monday so that they can give the talent the 4th of July off. That was what I heard as to why they're doing Raw early, is so they can tape SmackDown afterwards. That's just what I read online, so I don't know if that's true. Nasty boot here by Briggs, as they have just been trading blows back and forth. But Trick comes back with a kick to the back of the head and a pump kick of his own. These guys are just kicking each other in the face. Uh-oh. Man, nasty lariat from Briggs. Briggs is he about to go up top? Or he's just going to the corner? Yeah, but that's what I've heard. So yeah, I don't mind. Oh man, moonsault by Briggs. The big man goes for the moonsault and gets a whole lot of nothing, and he eats a trick shot. That's probably going to do it. Yep, that's 3. That's 3. Trick retains. Not a huge surprise, but a solid big man match. Briggs can really go for a big man. I think he will sneak up on you. He's really underrated as a big man. Hopefully, if he gets booked correctly in the future, he could be really, really effective. So, yeah. So I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind, Sophie, the Netflix era of Raw, where it can air at any time of day. And also, what's nice about Netflix, the past few times where I've been leaving early and not finishing the show with you guys, when I come back home, I don't have to sit through any commercials. You only have to watch those ads if you're watching it live, which is nice. I appreciate that. All right, Trick's cutting a promo. Trick's impersonating Truth here, saying put respect on his name. He went from carrying him to carrying 2 brands at the same time. Oh, Joe Hendry is here. Right as he's saying he's the greatest TNA champ of all time. Well, Joe hasn't come out. Just the entrance music. Oh, he's from behind. He doesn't see him. He doesn't see Joe. Joe's just waiting. Clothesline by Joe Hendry. Another clothesline by Joe Hendry. Okay. So Trick and Joe Hendry are squaring off for the TNA title at Slammiversary. Vic Joseph just said. Don't tell Mandy they're using that phrase. Oh, put respect on my name. Yeah, I know. Mandy invented everything. Don't you know? Okay. So Tavion got hurt training with Charlie Dempsey. And he's facing Javon Evans tonight to see whether or not he can get out of No Quarter Catch Crew. And the doctors, Charlie seemed to think that he was going to have to break out or drop the match, back out of the match. But Tavion says, no, the doc gave me a mask to wear, a protective mask, so the match is still on. And me and Javon are still having it. So you won't have to worry about me much longer. So there's that. All right, Teflon Down. What we got? Here's a fun one. Have an entrance like Penta, and you're able to do the smooth operator, yeah, or a Batista entrance with all the pyro. Oh, yeah. See, this is a good one because you got two different things here. I think I would go Batista. I love the pyro, especially like I love the pyro ones, like Kurt Angle's pyro, Batista's pyro, Shawn Michaels pyro, that his the return, Shawn Michaels return pyro. Anything where you just get to pose in the ramp and like let it all go off behind you. Cody does it to an extent now too. Yeah. I like that kind of pyro. Give me, you know what? I see your question, Teflon Don, and I raise you. Would you have one of those, or would you like a crowd entrance like a Jey Uso? Let's would love to hear your thoughts on that. I wonder if they'll do a double taping of NXT next week as well. I don't know. I don't know what that'll be. Yeah, I definitely feel like No Quarter Catch Crew is disintegrating. Like, I mean, that's what they seem to be doing. Right? And if Tavion wins tonight, it's just going to be Ren Sinclair and Charlie Dempsey. And so I don't know how they will fare at that point, because Ren Sinclair is like full on babyface and Charlie Dempsey is just kind of a scumbag. So be interesting to see where they go from here. So, oh man. All right. So yeah, so far we have Trick Williams successfully retaining the TNA Championship, although Joe Hendry has got him in his sights for TNA Slammiversary. And we'll have Tavion Heights versus Javon Evans tonight for Tavion's Freedom from NQCC. We also have that fatal four-way tonight of Izzi Dame, Jaida Parker, Jordynne Grace, and Lash Legend. The winner will take on JC Jane at Evolution, or the NXT Women's Champion at Evolution, assuming it's still JC Jane at that time. So, I did hear about Cedric Alexander going to TNA. Honestly, I'm happier for him. I feel like he'll probably get used more in TNA than AEW. Like, AEW guys, at the end of the day, I feel like AEW just kind of has their 5 guys that they use, and anybody else who comes in maybe gets a couple of weeks of big fanfare, and then they're relegated to Collision for a 6-man tag or something. But if you're not like Swerve or Hangman or MJF or Osprey, or one of the EVPs, like, I don't know. Yeah. So good enough for Cedric. He'll probably get more out of his career. He'll probably have more to do. He'll have more featured time, I bet, in TNA than he would in AEW. It's just my 2 cents. So Teflon 9 says, you'll take the pyro entrance. It sounds so cool just coming out to fans screaming $1 billion with the pyro. I know, right? The pyro budget is nuts. AEW's doing women's tag championships. Okay, well, how do you guys feel about that? What's your thoughts? Sorry, we're readjusting the eyes again. How do you guys feel about AEW doing doing that kind of thing, doing the women's tag championships? Do you think that'll be something that is going to last them a long time? Because they do have a lot of titles in that promotion. They've been criticized about not paying a whole lot of attention to those. So I'm curious what you guys think. I'm indifferent to it. I like pyro, just not how loud it is. Yeah. Okay, Miles Bourne is backstage with George Gums Jr. and Tyreek Sapp. These are Florida Gators. I can't believe Miles Bourne is putting over the Gators, though. He loses some cred in my book for that. I hate the Gators. Lexus King. Lexus yelling at. Lexus King just yelling for his attention. Change for you by talking to these losers instead of talking to the king. The Florida Gators haven't done jack in over 2 decades. I mean, if you're talking crazy, we'll get hit. Doesn't sound too fun for the king. What a weird segment. obviously those guys were just coming out to see NXT, and I guess they decided to put them in a segment. But yeah, 2 Florida Gators there to hang out with Miles Bourne, and maybe we'll get something with Miles Bourne and Lexus King. So we'll see. But here comes Javon Evans, the young blood, the young OG coming in. So not every promotion needs a women's tag championship. I agree, Sophie. I honestly wish I wish that WWE would bring the women's tag belts down to NXT. I think they could make more use of them right now than they are on the main roster, especially with Liv Morgan injured. Granted, they could do something with Raquel and Roxy right now, but let's see. All right, let's take a look. Tyrell Breed, Black Panther Gaming, welcome. Let's see what you got to say, my friend. Peter from OG Spider-Man got mad, carjacked from killing from his Uncle Ben later on Spider-Man 3. It was Sandman that killed Uncle Ben, but it was an accident. Yeah, I know we're not super talking movies right now, but that was always a weird development that they kind of retconned that it was really Sandman who was involved with all that instead of just a punk on the street, which like so many superheroes, it's just a punk on the street. Wrong place, wrong time. That gets people in it. AEW Women's Division is a mess. Okay, I'm unsurprised. As Tavion makes his entrance, and that mask that he was provided definitely is giving Retribution vibes. I'll say that. So, okay, so there's 2 tag teams there, George. Okay. Peter got mad at the cartridge. Do I see Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquera as a tag team? No, I don't see them as a long-term tag team. I absolutely think they could cook on a random episode of Raw, though. I think they could have a lot of fun teasing certain demographics of the audience, I'm sure. So that being what it is. Hey, Justin, welcome. All right, so the show opened with like an old school Saturday Night's Men event style cold open promo for the 4 ladies in the Fatal 4-Way later tonight for the number 1 contendership to JC Jane's title at Evolution. Those 4 women being Izzi Dame, Jordynne Grace, Jaida Parker, and Lash Legend. And then the first match was Trick Williams defending the TNA title against Josh Briggs, which was a hard-hitting match, but he successfully retained. And Joe Hendry made an appearance as apparently they have a title match coming up at Slammiversary. And here we are. This is the next match. So thanks for joining us, which is Tavion Heights and Javon Evans for Tavion's opportunity to leave No Quarter Catch Crew. Let's see. Sophie, I would argue that the WWE wasn't caring about the women's tag belts before Sasha left. Honestly, that was kind of part of the reason Sasha and Naomi walked out, is because they were going to put both of them in like either a Fatal 4-Way match or a 6-pack challenge match to just put over Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler. I forget. But yeah, so they were not caring about those titles pretty much after Sasha and Naomi won them. But that being what it said, that being said, Vince has hardly believed in tag teams at all since the late 80s, probably the early 90s. Like it seems like after that Legion of Doom, Heart Foundation, Natural Disasters, Money Inc. After all those teams kind of died out. I mean, to be fair, I'm discounting the Attitude Era. So after the TLC matches happened, I should say that he really stopped caring about tag team wrestling. And I don't know that I would fully argue that he really cared about tag team wrestling as much as he had 3 golden tag teams on his roster at the same time with the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. So yeah, there have been other tag teams throughout those years, some great ones too, but I don't think they've lasted all that long. So it being what it is. All right. So A and B Combos Wrestling Edition in the house. Welcome to NXT. Hit that like button. Thank you for the super chat, A and B. Much appreciated. Looking forward to talking Night of Champions with you guys later this week. and all the crazy early morning action of wrestling in Saudi Arabia. So anyway, Sophie, I hear a lot of snark on the internet about people complaining it's called Night of Champions, but there's only 2 championship matches. Well, first of all, it was a 5-match card in the beginning, a 5-match card that had 2 tournament finals and 3 championship matches. So there was a championship order to everything happening on the card when it was first announced. We don't know why AJ and Dom got scrapped. We can presume maybe one of them didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia, or maybe, Dom really did strain his mustache. We don't know. We don't know that. We have now gotten another women's match on the card. While that isn't a title match, we do have more representation from the women, and we do have 3 title matches for SmackDown the night before, which is also in Saudi Arabia. So honestly, SmackDown on Friday, I'm viewing it as an extension of Night of Champions, because it might be in this. It might even be in the same building as Night of Champions. So I'm not super worried about it. So SmackDown on Friday will be 8 p.m. Arabian Standard Time on Friday. So let's Google, everybody. What is 8 p.m. Arabian Standard Time? That is, let's see. Ooh. Why is Google trying to do this? Arabian Standard Time, 8 p.m. is 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which would make it 10 a.m. Pacific Time. So I know that SmackDown has done this in the past, that when they go to Saudi Arabia, they will air it on USA at regular viewing time on a tape delay, but they will air it live on Netflix for international viewers as it's happening. So I think what I may end up doing is I might do the live broadcast of SmackDown for anybody who's around, but I'm sure if they're airing it at regular viewing time that A&B will be involved in that as well. So something to consider for how you're going to be viewing. Also, be careful about spoilers that day, unless you end up joining a live stream for Friday. So we'll feel that out, see how that goes. Chad Gable is injured. Now that I didn't know. Did that happen at Raw? Or was it, or yeah, what happened? What kind of injury does Gable have? Tavion and Javon still going at it here for the freedom of Tavion from NQCC. Working a dragon sleeper on Javon. Cranked him, bent over and backwards. But Javon, oh man, counters it with almost like a Salida del Sol. Let's see, shoulder. Oh, okay. Why Penta attacked him. Okay. Well, that sucks. Chad Gable has been an MVP. He's been a workhorse for WWE for the past year. Hopefully, he can rest up long enough to come back and make another impression on TV. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But man, Javon just laying chops on the Tavion. Masked up Tavion tonight. Oh, okay. He pulls back on the ropes, runs to the corner, and then bursts with a lariat out of the corner. Tavion gets 2 for that. Man, oh man. What did you guys, as Javon and Tavion are still going spot for spot back and forth, what did you guys think of the Cody and Jay semi-final match? Main eventing Raw. Man, good German suplex by Tavion. Only gets him 2. When do you see finding out about WWE and Peacock deal, since it's ending a couple weeks before Mania next year? I imagine they'll probably They'll probably do it in the fall. They'll probably make an announcement in the fall. I mean, I know in the days of streaming services and stuff like that, I guess they can announce stuff at any time. But back in the day, usually the late summer or early fall, TV networks would announce what their new deals would be. So, I don't. It didn't particularly matter to me who won between Cody and Jay. I thought they had a great match. I thought both of them showed, man, corkscrew splash off the top, and Javon wins clean. Tavion's still a part of NQCC. Charlie looks happy, and Ren kind of looks disappointed. I'll say this. It makes more sense for Cody to beat Jay. I wish that if we were getting a Cody versus Randy Orton match, that it wouldn't be because a tournament forced that match to happen. I was hoping that we could get that match. Oh, who's in here? Jasper Troy has shown up and just dropped Javon Evans, the black hole slam, and has just left Javon laying, and he's out the ring now and walking his way to the back. Comes in, drops, and he's walking right through the NQCC. Ren looks frozen in fear. Man, makes an impression. Jade and Asuka, I think, will be an interesting matchup. I hope that, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, I hope Jade can keep up with Asuka. Because if Jade can go move for move with Asuka at Asuka's speed, that match will be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. In just a second, you guys. All right, right now we're getting a recap of the drama within the D'Angelo family, or what used to be the D'Angelo family. We're in a phase of this angle now where Tony is trying to get at Stacks, and Luca is trying to sort of be a peacemaker. But Luca keeps, and I do truly believe this, inadvertently costing Tony by hitting him by mistake and all this other stuff. And then Tony is getting slowly more and more paranoid each week that Luca is in league with Stacks. Now, what I've heard is that Noam Dar, oh, here we are. It's a tweet from Ava. Due to injury, Noam Dar will not be able to compete this Tuesday and have to relinquish the Heritage Cup. So instead, Tony and Stacks are going to face off one-on-one for the Heritage Cup to determine the new Heritage Cup champion. Okay, so we'll see what comes. Yes, Tony D needs to get out of his own head and trust his consigliere. I mean, because if you can't trust family, then you'll just be destroyed from the inside. Stacks kind of looks like Stacks just called Luca his consigliere. Stacks is up to something. Stacks kind of looks like that. Did any of y'all ever see the movie Hustle and Flow? The really skinny white kid that helped out DJ and the guy that was on Blackish. He's been in other movies. He was in The New Guy too. Anyway, he looks like a jacked up version of that actor. I can't remember his name right now. I want to say DJ Qualls, but I can't remember that. Anyway, that's who Stacks looks like to me. Okay. What are we doing now? Okay. Ricky Saints is here. And he's here, geared up and ready for action. So Ricky Saints has got a match tonight. I did not see who he's up against, so we'll see. Clips of Hustle and Flow. Whoop that trick. Get him. Yeah, Anthony Anderson was the guy from Blackish, but I'm talking about the white kid in Hustle and Flow. Kind of reminds me of Stacks a little bit. Sophie, you mentioned cash-ins. Listen, Friday is going to be a last woman standing match between Nia Jax and Tiffany. And I mean, that is ripe for a cash in. I mean, it's really possible. So, and there is a possibility to the biggest rumor I've seen for Seth cashing in is on Goldberg or Gunther after a Saturday night's main event. But I don't want to talk about Goldberg tonight. Happy thoughts. Let's have happy thoughts. Okay, Ricky and Ashante. I do remember, I think, last week them having a little beef about something. Here comes Ashante with his pink hoodie, pink fleece hoodie. Ashante looked like he double dutching in his entrance. I'm sure he's doing a dance. I'm not cool enough to know, but still. Sometimes you try to be so cool, you end up looking like a fool. We're going to call that the boo-boo the fool dance. That's for you, AJ. Yeah, I feel like SummerSlam is probably a good breeding ground for cash-ins. We've seen many in the past. CM Punk cashed in at a SummerSlam. Ricky's just ready to throw hands too. Let's go. And then Randy Orton also cashed in on Daniel Bryan one year as well, and that famous cash in at SummerSlam. I think there have been a couple of others as well, but those are some of the big ones. DJ Qualls, thank you, thank you. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, Stacks Lorenzo looks like a gassed up DJ Qualls for me. Oh yeah, Del Rio, that's right, Del Rio too. Ashante isn't the same without Carmen. That's true, man. Listen, when you get clowned by your girl because you think you've got game you don't have, it can really mess with your prowess for sure. And Ashante has not been the same. Although he was in a fantastic triple threat match last month, I think it was, with Shawn Legacy. And who else? Javon Evans. So I think Seth is going to cash in on Cody and Randy at SummerSlam. Cody or Randy at SummerSlam. Interesting. Okay. Do I think Jay is done in the main event scene after last night's loss? Not yet, but I think he will be soon. And I'm not saying that because I think he deserves it. I just think eventually Jay's going to be in a tag team with Jimmy again. And I don't love that. Honestly, I don't know how you make this happen. Blessed by Ricky. There's blessed by Ricky signs in the crowd. There are Jacob needs some help. And we saw Jimmy show up for Jacob last week. I know that's a different show, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jacob and the Usos do a little 6-man teaming against Solo and JD and some third guy. I wouldn't mind that. I don't know what Rikishi would think. Honestly, I'm starting to think I think Rikishi will never be happy unless Jay ends up being Roman 2.0, which ain't gonna happen. Like that's just not gonna happen. And I love Jay. Rikishi can hear me. That's true, man. He has spies all through the trees. But yeah, man, right? Rikishi is an opinionated man. And I am also the father of an athlete I'm very proud of, but multiple athletes I'm very proud of, but still, come on, dude. Jay has had a fantastic run. I mean, with things he's accomplished. Not a lot of men or women can say they won the Royal Rumble and main evented, well, yeah, I mean, he has main evented WrestleMania. Not a lot of people can say they have won the Royal Rumble, won a world title at WrestleMania, main evented a WrestleMania. He was the first person to pin Roman Reigns in like 3 years. I mean, not all of Jay's accolades have belts attached to them, but he's been booked incredibly well. And other than maybe the length of his title reigns. But title reign length is not always, and I said this anyways on A&B's podcast the last time I was on there. It's not always about the number attached to your reign when you're a champion. It's whether or not people remember that title reign or not. Because this fool right here, the Ultimate Warrior, went into SummerSlam 1988 and defeated a honky-tonk man who was then the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. He kept that belt from SummerSlam 88 to the following WrestleMania, which, to be fair, was probably about 8 months, which is far more than what Jay had with this title, okay? But back then, I need you guys to know, back then, Intercontinental title reigns were far longer than that. And other than Ricky Steamboat, my favorite wrestler of all time, everybody else had pretty lengthy title reigns. And so he lost his belt, at WrestleMania, won it back at SummerSlam. Rick Rude, ravishing Rick Rude, who's still thought of as a legend, as an all-time great, was only Intercontinental Champion for 4 months, maybe. Anyway, all that to say, one more thing. This guy that we're crowning, that so many of you guys are crowning the GOAT now, John Cena, which is another topic for another time. 17 times world champion, far more of those reigns than not are title reigns about the length of Jay's world title reign or less. Cena has not had very many long title reigns, which, by the way, whether you love him or hate him in real life is fine, but that's why Ric Flair is still better than John Cena. If we're talking wrestling gimmicks and championships, Ric Flair's still better. Anyway, we're back, and Adonis is in control. He has a Death Valley driver called the Cash App. Oh, the Cash Out. It's like Cash App. Surely the branding has not gotten that deep at this point, has it? Yeah, Cena's overrated. Cena's overrated as a wrestler. Very good as a promo when he's paired with somebody who he can work with, but no. Cena will never be a GOAT to me. He was an era-defining superstar, like Steve Austin, like The Rock, like Hulk Hogan, like Cody, like Roman. He's one of those guys. He absolutely is one of those guys, but not a GOAT. And also, Cena was the face of the company when people hated WWE the most, the PG era. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about he was the one carrying the bag when everybody thought it was uncool to watch WWE, when they thought it was cringe and lame. Cena was the face of that company. So anyway, it is what it is. And I'm not trying to bury John Cena. He's having his retirement year. Everyone's giving him his flowers everywhere he goes. So he'll continue to have that, and he'll have a well-earned, showering of love in his retirement. But he'll never be my GOAT, and I'm okay with that, and it should be okay for me to say. 2 count for Ricky. Now the ref in this match, I'm not sure what her name is. White girl, blonde hair. I feel it feels impractical for female refs to have their long hair out while they're refereeing. It feels like it's too much of a hindrance. Like it gets in their face. Like Jessica Carr, I think, is the mainstay female ref. She's always ponied up. Oh man, there's a tight little spear there from Ricky. He didn't get a lot of velocity on that, but he hit hard though. Rochambeau. I always want to call that the Dominator, though. All right. Ricky Saints wins this week over Ashante the Adonis. And soaking in the victory here on NXT. George, you think that reunite the Usos and put Jimmy on Raw? That's not a bad look. I mean, because, if you go back to Xavier Woods, like mocking Jay for losing the world title, you have that. Ethan Page on the NXT Tron mocking him. Oh, caught him slipping. Ethan Page was in the crowd, ran through and caught Ricky from behind, much like Joe Hendry did in the first segment. So a little bit of a replay there. It looks like he's about to hit the twist of fate, but no. Is he going to hit a Rochambeau on Ricky? He hit Ricky with his own finisher, but if we need to be critical when we need to be critical. Ricky Saints did not take his own finisher very well. He broke the fall with his knees and didn't even really hit his face on the ground, which is not a great look, Ricky. Sorry. But Ethan stands tall over Ricky Saints. Who do I think does a better spear, Rick or Jay? We get Dark State here. Okay, Dark State making literal and figurative veiled threats there. So I think when Jay's spear is good, it's better than Ricky's. But I think Ricky probably has a more consistently believable spear than Jay does. Jay, yeah, I mean, Jay sometimes. Here's the thing about Jay. First of all, I noticed Dark State actually showed up on TNA a couple weeks ago or last week. So they've been looming around, but they haven't been on NXT for a little bit. Now, back to Jay for a second. Jay is a, how do I put this? He's not a sloppy wrestler. He looks like he's a sloppy wrestler. Like he wrestles very recklessly. He doesn't wrestle recklessly. He gives off the vibe or the visual like he's wrestling recklessly. He kind of reminds me of, I'm trying to think of who had this like really like, I mean, almost like a skinnier Mick Foley in a way. Like he just does the way Jay goes after stuff. He just seems like he's about to just wipe out every time. He's almost like his battery is almost on empty. And just he throws, oftentimes he throws everything of himself into a move right when he's about to do it, you know? And so it looks kind of messy, but it's clean, but it's cleaner than it looks, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not making a lot of sense there, but I think a lot of people who say he can't wrestle is because his moves aren't pretty. Like, yeah, he doesn't wrestle like AJ Styles and Will Ospreay. Like, who gives a crap? Like, if you don't want, nobody with a brain in their head would want a wrestling promotion where every single performer wrestles in the exact same way. So, I mean, he has a unique approach to his wrestling that can come off like it's sloppy or reckless, but it's not actually, you know? Now, what do I think of Jay's promos? I think Jay always has the capacity to cut a killer promo. He's gotten so popular right now with his catchphrases that maybe even to a degree that he might not have anticipated, that it's hard for him to cut a coherent promo without getting interrupted by the crowd wanting to yeet with him all the time. The Rock had that problem too. I mean, once he became catchphrases, even when Austin was in the what phase and has left that with us for eternity. The crowd just wants to hear the hits. They don't always want to hear a story. And like, which is interesting. We bring that up because one of the reasons I left the chat early last night to go, while we were watching Raw, was I went to go see the new Jurassic World, Rebirth movie. And if there was ever a great example of just play the hits, even if the story isn't there, it's that movie. Like, you just want to, that movie felt like it was made by a studio that's like, people just want to see the big dinosaurs. Who cares if the story makes sense? Who cares if you like the characters? Let's just slap a story on there and focus on what the dinosaurs look like and make them real big and do all the same beats we've done from other Jurassic Park movies. So in that regard, I think sometimes Jay does want to give more heartfelt promos, like when he was in the build up to his first Intercontinental title and the build up to the Royal Rumble. He's also like when he quit the Bloodline, when he was first feuding with Roman, like he can cut great promos. He absolutely has demonstrated time and time again that he, has what it takes to cut a good promo. Yes, kind of like when Cody says, "What do you want to talk about?" Like, Cody, you don't have to do that when you come to the ring. If you want to cut right down to business and start putting the bass in your voice and doing stuff like that, just do that. And we will go on the ride with you. Like, I'm fine with that. And you know who does a good job of that? Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch doesn't rely on catchphrases. She just comes out and cuts a real promo. And it usually makes sense. Sometimes it's a little manic if she's in a crazy spot mentally as a character, but she gets to the point, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't care so much for the mutated dinosaurs either, Dossie. I am on Screen Streamed and Shelved. I'm going to put up a review in the next day or two of that. I also saw 28 Years Later earlier today, and I'm going to make a review for that one as well. I've got those in the chamber. They'll be coming up soon. Okay, Oba, let's see what Oba's got to say. Oba's wearing a fancy silk yellow shirt, too. Respect. Oba's kind of doing that open challenge sort of thing right now, saying he's beat everybody. This is where it gets dangerous. Because any man in my position will start to run for this ball, will start to coast and bask in the euphoria of his victories. The ruler is not just any man now, is it? I get restless when I'm idle. I get restless when there's no contenders, when there's no competition, because I crave the fight. Craves the fight. All right. Oba says he needs challengers. Okay. Is somebody going to show up? Somebody going to answer the call? Oba, without booking a match, has basically had issued an open challenge. Who's here? Oh, okay. It's Inamura's time. Inamura's going to give it a shot. He told us last week he was going to go for it. And the NXT arena is happy to see him there. Listen, I ain't even worried about whether or not Inamura's winning this match, but give me this match. I came to NXT to chase glory. A big pat on the back to the NXT faithful, because Inamura's promo at the beginning started getting whatted and it got shut down fast. Because Inamura's not a native English speaker. Don't what the man. He said, I mean, this is a very simple promo, but it's heartfelt because we love Inamura. Like he said, I went back to Japan and I realized everything I missed. I missed Briggs. I missed NXT. I missed these fans. I missed this culture. Okay, he says he's going to pay back NXT for all the love they gave him by being NXT champion. Oba's laughing at him, though. I want bigger. You and that title are bigger. We both know what it's like to be strangers in a different place. Okay. This feud feels a little like the Miles Bourne feud, where Oba's like, I respect you. Uh-oh. Okay, my stream is paused. I have a feeling Oba's about to grant him a title shot, though. Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm frozen up. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. But it looks like we're going to get Inamura and Oba here. Let's just see if I can get my stream to come back here. You guys still with me, by the way? I just want to verify, unless it's my entire internet that has been compromised. Let's see. What a terrible time for it to go out. If they were to put the NXT title on Inamura, that would be wild. Like, I would be shocked, but also, like, he's such a capable wrestler, though. Like, I mean, I think he would be a great worker to have the belt on. And the crowd does get behind him, and it would be a shock. I think anybody beating Obafemi at this point would be a shock. So we'll see. All right, come on, man. Oh my gosh, the stream is killing me. Okay, I'm a little behind. Okay, so my stream is picked up right where it left off. So I'll catch up with you guys in a second. Okay, Inamura says he's ready for Oba. Love it. Give us that for Great American Bash. I would absolutely love that match for Great American Bash. Oh, no. Freaking Jasper Troy has shown up and just put down Inamura, caught it, attacked him from behind. And Oba is still standing in Jasper's face, raising the belt. He is not backing down. We get a triple threat, though? Could we get a triple threat? Could we get a triple threat match with Jasper Troy, Inamura, and Obafemi? That would be nasty work. All three of them. Oh, my gosh. Izzi Dame just gave Tatum Paxley an Izzy-looking Barbie doll.
Want me in your corner? I cannot be serious right now. If Tatum wants to be serious, is he being genuine? But I see someone still not bitter about the loss last week. Sorry, I must suck knowing that the only championship you're going to get close to is the one you're sharing with your best friend. Tatum, be like me.
So Izzy's invited Tatum to the main event to be in her corner. Soul's trying to talk her out of it, but Tatum's not listening. I feel like Tatum's going to end up costing Izzy now, though.
Tatum meets Spears and Nico.
Oh, and Sean Spears is totally getting in the...
Tatum, I'm hoping you'll join me ringside. I'll be there. And what about you guys?
Like you receive me too. Have our eyes some gold.
Oh boy! So the other boys in the culling, probably going after Hank and Tank. But interesting. All right. Well, it's Heritage Cup time. Tatum is 100% going to cost Izzy that match, probably accidentally, but that's okay. skipping ahead to go live now. Well, we've got the Heritage Cup match coming up next. Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo. See if we'll get a cameo from Luca in the match. We'll see what happens. But stream is not being my friend tonight ever since that Obafemi segment. But yeah, man, all three of let's see. Oh, we got an ad for LFG now. Okay, we're fine. We're in ads. Yeah, but Oba, Inamura, and Jasper would be a real fun match. It may not be on any main roster marquees, but I'll tell you what, as soon as that bell rings, it's going to be nasty work, and people would love that. Tatum and the Culling, I think that could be a fun little sort of mini story arc. John Cena says he loves wrestling more than acting. I think he's lying. Well, you know what? I don't know that he's lying. He might, but he can't do wrestling like he used to. It's a shame. The Culling, this might be controversial. I feel like maybe the Culling has the wrong people in it, because I think the Culling as a faction, take all the people out and just leave you with the idea. The idea of the Culling, actually, I think is a really good faction. It's a great presentation for NXT. I just don't think they have any of the right performers in there. Now, who would you put in there? I don't know, but I think swapping out Izzi Dame for Tatum Paxley would be a good start. I think Tatum would be a good fit for an ideal version of the Culling. So, I think Brooks got released because they kicked him out of the Culling, and he hasn't been back since. Unless he's injured, but I think I read he got released at some point. Let's see. Which is a shame, because Brooks is the son of Bull Buchanan. I don't know if you guys remember Bull Buchanan or B Squared, but yeah. So no, my apologies. He's not been really. Oh yeah. Let's see. No, he was brought back. Okay. Yeah. So no, he was kicked out of the Culling at the beginning of the month. So anyway, I wouldn't call something a Temu version of the Gacy, of the Joe Gacy cult, because the Joe Gacy cult itself was kind of a Temu Wyatt family. All cult-like factions within WWE compare themselves to the Wyatt family. But no, I think the Culling is something a little different than the Schism. Is that what they were called? The Schism? Yeah. So no, Jensen is still with the company. I was wrong. He was just kicked out of the Culling about 3 weeks ago. That was yeah. June was a hard programming month for me, as you guys know, with end of school and all that kind of stuff happening in my house. So I've forgotten when that had happened, but yeah. So yeah. So solid show tonight. One thing I respect so much about NXT that I think they do far better than Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, Bull Buchanan was also in Right to Censor. He teamed up with the Big Boss Man for a while. He was in Right to Censor. He even teamed up with no, that was Tomko who teamed up with Christian, but he did team up with John Cena briefly when he was Dr. Thugonomics. Something NXT does super well is balance and program. Like, they always have, at the end of every episode of NXT, if you're paying attention, you're going to get you're already going to know 2 to 3 matches that are happening next week. You get a balanced proportion of the men's division and women's division. And you also get to see some new developmental stars and some people who are probably ready for the main roster. And yeah, how can you not love NXT if you're paying attention? There's something for everybody. There's always something to love about it. So I wouldn't say that they did as good of a job balancing the men and women's divisions in NXT every week probably until Shawn Michaels took over. Jensen reuniting with Briggs. That's not a bad idea. All right, so next week we got Wesley versus Joe Hendry. Okay. Wesley said Joe Hendry's name, and they all froze for a second and just looked around, make sure he didn't appear. It's a great little bit there. I get a kick out of it. No, they didn't do that with Black and Gold. They didn't do a good job with up and comers on Black and Gold. They just brought in indie guys. They were basically, if you loved NXT Black and Gold, it was easy to love AEW because that's basically what AEW was, is bringing in popular indie guys. And that's what AEW was then. And listen, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate that back in there. They had very few homegrown people on Black and Gold NXT. Most of those guys came off the indies, were popularly off the indies. I don't count NXT as a third brand. I mean, I definitely not as on par with Raw and SmackDown, and I never have, even if they said it. The only time I did was that one year that they put them in Survivor Series with everybody and tried to, legitimize Keith Lee and Shayna Baszler and a few others on the main roster at that time. That's the only time I considered it, but that was very short-lived. Stax's family just looks very, very Deuce and Domino. Yeah. Okay. So we got Stax and Tony for the Heritage Cup. Who do you guys think wins? I feel as though Stax may take this one. We'll see what happens. Okay. Jasmine Nix stood there while JC and Fallon put Blake through a table. I didn't quite remember how that went down last week. I was definitely saying, okay, all right, Justin and George both say Stax. I can get down with that. Do you guys think Tony would do well on the main roster? Because that dude has been in NXT for so long. I would love to see him do something more. I feel like he's done as much as he can do. You know what I mean? I feel like he's checked all the boxes for NXT other than being NXT champion. And I'm just not sure if that's really in the cards for him. I just don't know where I'd book him on the main roster, All In's going to have men and women's casino gauntlet matches. Well, when they're going for All In, they certainly need to stack the card. I mean, they're going to a stadium in Texas, so they absolutely should, throw everything they have to throw into it. Dossie, that's a good question. I'll say this. My hesitancy to book him well in the main roster would be with the same gimmick. He would need a different one. I think he's definitely got the wrestling capability if he has a different gimmick to probably get over. But I just don't know how the Mafia gimmick and Chase U both seem like gimmicks that really should only exist in NXT for me. Don't ask me to try to argue that. Like, I don't really know how to wrap my argument around that. It's just like a feeling I have. Like, Chase U, the D'Angelo family, both of those groups just seem like that's NXT gimmick. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, I could see Tony on SmackDown. I feel like that'd probably be the show for him if he was coming up at all. We're coming up on 30 seconds left in the first round of this Heritage Cup title match now that Noam Dar is injured and had to relinquish the Heritage Cup. Ricker D, welcome. Glad you could be with us as we've got Stax and D'Angelo going at it tonight for the Heritage Cup. Tony can do the FBI gimmick. Oh, gosh. All right, so we're gonna have the first round with no victor here. And they're trying to separate them, but Chase gets Stacks gets a shot off right after the bell rings. No, I don't think Chase U would be a gimmick that works on the main roster. They would be purely comedy gimmick on the main roster. I wouldn't want them there. The thing that I like about Chase U and NXT is they can be comedy or they can be taken seriously, depending on the kind of talent they have. So, and also like whatever it is they're doing with Maxine and Natalia and Otis and Akira Tozawa is probably what Chase U would look like on the main roster. So there's really no point in them bringing that gimmick up. Man, Stacks gets tossed and like smacks on the announce table as we are in the second round now. Oh, nasty spear off the ropes from Tony. That'll be the first fall. So 2.5 minutes left in the first round. Tony has taken the first decision. And throws Stacks into the corner, and we go to commercial. Well, Sophie, that's what I was asking. Like, I have a hard time seeing when feel that the crowd would not take them serious. Yeah, right, exactly. You know, and so that's why I love that the NXT crowd knows exactly how to deal with Chase U and the family. You know, and I've said before that I've wanted Chase U to be an NXT only gimmick because you can just filter talent through Chase U and have them graduate and leave the faction and bring in like kind of what they're doing right now with Cale Dixon and Uriah Connors, I think is his name. Although I don't particularly love those two guys, but having them in as sort of freshmen, it's kind of like the old movie conspiracy theory that James Bond is just a title and these different actors just come through as James Bond, and it's always been just one James Bond, but instead it's just an alias, kind of like how Chase U is just an alias for people on the roster. You know what I mean? So I would love to see it be something like that. Anyway, Tony's gimmick, I am skeptical. The Diamond Mine was a good faction too, even back when Roddy Strong was there too. Yeah, my Tony, I just don't think the Mafia gimmick would work well on the main roster. I think that's an NXT gimmick for sure. Maxine versus Stacy. Well, I don't know how many stars that match would get from certain people, but the crowd would at least pop for the entrances, I imagine. Put Otis and Tozawa with Chase U. Now, you know what? I think Otis and Tozawa would be great Chase U alumni or something to bring them down. Bring them down to NXT. I mean, I know maybe they won't like that, and whenever we talk about bringing main roster talent down to NXT, that's it's always a risky proposition. I don't know what they'll do to Tony if he gets called up. I mean, it feels like he's put so much into this Don gimmick that they'll probably try it that way at first and see what happens, I'm guessing, see if it gets over on the main roster. And if he doesn't, they'll probably repackage him because they've kept him for a long time. He's never, to my knowledge, he's never been cut and come back. So whatever it may be, I think they believe in him. And Tony got attacked. He got chop blocked by the Putty Patrol out there. And we're about to come back from ads, but Stacks is stalking Tony outside the ring and about to throw him back in. So let's see. Looks like we're going to get a triple threat between Becky, Bayley, and Lyra for the Intercontinental Championship. I think that's a great Evolution match right there. Make that an Evolution match and make those ladies, let those ladies just go all out. So I think I would be a big fan of Evolution having like 6 to 9 matches and letting those ladies like just work, the real workhorse matches like that triple threat. Just let those ladies keep trying to top each other since it's Evolution. I feel like Evolution should absolutely be a show because the thing is with Raw and SmackDown, and you might have wrestlers. Hold on, we got to move here from Oh, wow! Right at the end of round 3, Tony kicks out, and Stacks looked like he was going to get a point, but he didn't. So now he's attacking Tony's knee that was chop blocked by his little minions. But we're into round 4, and Tony is still up 1-0. Now, I think Evolution. So what I was going to say is the main roster shows. You're always booking to an end point of a story. So like Jey Uso might be in the ring with a Chad Gable or somebody like that, and they're booking to put Jay up here, even though Chad, could probably wrestle circles around him. And I feel like they should just let small package attempt by Stacks after kicking the knee, and we are evened up in round 4. And so now we're going to go to the 5th and final round with it tied 1-1. I can't believe they're going all 5 rounds with this. Now, and Tony can barely stand. So I feel like, Stacks is just picking his bones at this point. Who's coming down? Oh, and now Luca comes down. Anyway, I was going to say Evolution, since it's not a recurring show, they should just let the women who can go out there and tear the house down, just let them do that. Don't worry about I'm just making this up, but don't worry about Rhea not being the most over wrestler in that show. Like let Lyra go all out if she wants to, just let the ladies do what they want to do in those matches. Well, Stacks has got sort of a modified figure four on Tony and applying pressure to that bad knee with 2.5 minutes left in the final round. It's win or go home at this point for the Heritage Cup. There's only one Don. No. You're the only Don in this chat, Teflon Don. I ain't a part of the family. That's for sure. I don't know if there is a family at this point. Anyway, we'll see if Luca does anything nefarious here. Big spine buster by Tony D'Angelo. Big fan of Tony's spine buster. Nobody can be Arn Anderson, but he's got a good one. Batista had a good spine buster as well, too. Wow. Hip tosses Stacks right out of the ring over the top rope and treats his henchmen like bowling pins. All right, 1:45 left. And they're going for the oh no. Again, a mishap from Luca is going to cost Tony. Although this one, Luca looked, and Stacks is your new Heritage Cup champion. Luca came over to fight off Stacks' boys. They were fighting over a bucket, and the minion let go of the bucket, and the momentum of it swung back and hit Tony. Although this time more than ever, Luca really looked like he was trying to aim for where Tony was. I don't know if that was just, kind of a botch spot or if they were, just trying to make it look like he was doing it on purpose. Nevertheless, we don't know where Luca stands still at this point, and because he hasn't attacked Stacks yet. But anyway, smacks Tony right in the back with that bucket, sets Stacks up for a finisher. He nails on Tony. 1, 2, 3. New Heritage Cup champion. So there's that. And now here we are again with Tony and Luca in the ring. Luca trying to help Tony up. Now, Tony doesn't know that happened, though. Oh, Tony has attacked Luca. The paranoia has taken over. He's not listened to his consigliere. Super chat from A&B Combos is looking a little sus to us. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we've got Fatal Influence backstage.
Really thought she was gonna walk into the deepest women's division and go straight to the top. Absolutely not. I think like
All right, a recap of their attack on Blake Monroe from last week. The only thing that's forever is Fatal Influence's boredom over our airwaves. If they have the AAA girls and TNA knockouts at Evolution, I think that would be a great opportunity to take advantage of those partnerships to put them on Evolution and really stack out that card. Interesting. Fatal Influence says they will be out there. So, all right, there's Jordynne Grace getting ready as well. And yeah, so pretty soon here we'll have that fatal 4-way for the number 1 contender at Evolution. Go ahead and start dropping your picks here for Miss Parker, Jaida Parker, Lash Legend, Izzi Dame, or Big Mama Pump, Jordynne Grace. Well, George, I think you'll get your wish eventually, because before JC won the NXT Championship, her and Fallon Henley definitely had the seeds planted of dissension between them. I wouldn't be surprised if Fallon Henley, on purpose or on accident, somehow gets involved with JC losing her title eventually. I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that happened. So, yes, indeed. Yeah, so we've got 2 votes for Jordynne Grace so far. Yeah, so we've got Night of Champions coming up this weekend. And yeah, so we've got Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, bound to be something special there with all the history they have together. And then we've also got Asuka and Jade Cargill, which could surprise as well. We've got John Cena and CM Punk. And Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. A match that people really aren't talking about, but I think could really could possibly steal the show. And maybe I sound crazy in that, but I think there's a real shot there. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Fatal Influence. I mean, they're a Temu Toxic Attraction, and I didn't care for Toxic Attraction either. Like, I mean, I like Gigi Dolan. She was my favorite member of them, but like I didn't like her because of Toxic Attraction. I'll say that. Justin, the Fatal 4-way is Jaida Parker, Jordynne Grace, Lash Legend, and Izzi Dame from the Culling. So I just, if it were me, Izzy would be taking the pin for sure. And honestly, I'm fine with any of the 3 other women winning that match and being the number 1 contender for Evolution. Let's see. Main event time indeed. All right. So yeah. All right. So everybody in the chat going with Jordynne Grace. I think it's a wise choice. I think she probably presents the biggest threat to JC Jane out of the 4 of them. Lash Legend also I think could present a threat, but she's just really getting into her singles run here at NXT. So we'll see what comes from it. I mean, we said Izzi Dame's not NXT championship material, George, but neither is JC Jane. So here we are. She's the champion. So Justin is doubling down. He's saying Jordynne Grace and Blake is going to get involved. That could be a lot of fun. And you could see that happening because Fatal Influence has said they're going to be ringside. So if Blake, makes her presence known with them being ringside, then we could really have something at play here. Man, oh man. Do you guys think Roxanne Perez will team up with Raquel Rodriguez soon? Oh, here's Thea Hale. And who's she being confronted by Laney Reed?
You haven't changed a bit, but I'll be sure to run through the mistakes and I'll just. Okay, well, if you want to go figure. Yeah. Because I have a favorite four-way match and Lady needs to watch.
Okay, here comes Lash making her way to the ring, and now we see Ethan Page. Oh, Ava's got her. George, I mean as tag champs.
Every single week.
That's your Ethan, that's pathetic. I'm sick of this.
I'm sick of this too. You can help us with both of our problems. Great. All you have to do is make sure that Ricky Saints stays very, very, very far away from all legal Ethan Page. We'll never have to deal with this issue ever again.
Yeah, I'm sure you love that, huh?
I would. That's why I suggested it.
Ethan, don't piss me off. You and Ricky are actually required to be in my office next week.
For what? For
Because you're both the problem and you're going to settle it.
You know what? We can settle it. We're going to settle it on my terms. Siri? It's not your partner. What's what I mean by
I have a theory about this. Oh, who's been attacked? Hank and Tank are attacked, and there are two chairs laying there. I mean, it's clearly the culling. Yeah, precisely. A and B. We got a interview with Joe Hendry here. Hold on for a second.
We saw you was at Battleground where you lost the TNA World Title to Trick Williams.
that is a night that I think every single day of my life. But I can't change the past, although I can control the future. And that future is TNA Slammiversary when I get my chance to regain the TNA World Title from Trick Williams. Trick has made himself very comfortable showing up in TNA whenever he wants. So I thought, why not return the favor? And I'll show up in NXT whenever I want.
And we will see you go against Wesley one-on-one next week.
Joe Hendry and Wesley one-on-one next week.
He's a superstar in TNA, but it seems like he's forgotten where he came from. But don't worry, because I will remind him. Because he's going to face 252 pounds of pure motivation, a man on a mission. That's next. TNA.
Okay, Joe. Yeah. So, I don't. It's only a matter of time, before Joe is permanently with TNA. Now, what I'm curious about with Ethan is Miss Parker Chance as Jaida comes to the ring. Ethan Page said to Ava, "You need to keep me and Ricky far, far away from each other." We've already talked about possible call-up stuff. What if Ethan Page and Ricky Saints have a loser leaves NXT match for the North American title at maybe Great American Bash, and that's how one of them ends up going up? I would be curious about that. Anyways, yeah. So it's clear that Raquel is warming up to Roxy, and I presume that it's only a matter of time before Raquel makes it so Roxy can hold the other tag title. But I'm interested in that. I'm interested in sort of karma happening to Liv Morgan the way she did to Rhea Ripley. They really have to make it make sense, and I don't know that they can, to be honest. But if Liv does come back, which she would probably come back as a face, at least against Roxy, and the Judgment Day. If they could find a way to team Rhea and Liv together against Roxy and Raquel, that could be a lot of fun. I don't think they'll go that far, though, because it just wouldn't make enough sense for Rhea and Liv to reconcile, especially since they used to be a tag team all those years ago. But anyway, yeah, you'd have to have Dom involved in that somehow to turn them both against him. Izzy's like in-ring pose is very much giving I'm a little teapot. And I'm not here for that. It's strange. For sure. All right, so we've got a new DLC pack coming out this week, I believe, for 2K25. It is hitting tomorrow with Shaq and two other basketball players, Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson. And then we also get the Great Khali and Abyss. And I'm very interested in Abyss. So using him in 2K. Maybe I can have a hardcore title tournament sometime soon on the channel as my next tournament once we get Abyss in the ring. That could be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. Oh my. All right. So what else in the world of pro wrestling would you guys like to discuss this evening as we're coming up on our main event here and getting ready to crown a new number one contender for the women's NXT championship at Evolution? What is going on in you guys' world, in the world of professional wrestling, that we can discuss together? Oh my. WWE banned what is happening in the world regarding Israel and stuff. I'm not sure I know what you mean, Sophie. Like they're not talking about it on TV or what? I will notice that WWE, since TKO got involved, is increasingly apolitical. They do not join themselves to as many social causes as they used to publicly. So, Black History Month wasn't recognized. I can't remember if Martin Luther King Day was recognized or not. They did Memorial Day. I remember that. But, when Vince was in charge, man, they would slap something on every single one of those holidays. But they don't really do that. George wants to know, can we all agree that Mercedes Moné is going to win the AEW Women's Championship at All In? I mean, I don't know why she wouldn't, to be honest. She's the hottest thing they've got going on in their women's division now. Toni Storm has had the career change of a lifetime with her timeless Toni Storm gimmick. But if I can say something that's a little hot take-ish, both her and MJF, I feel like the gimmickry that they both possess that has made them edgy and popular, I think they've both grown stale. So Toni can talk about her boobs and make innuendos from 1930s Hollywood all she wants now, but it just feels like same old stuff to me whenever I see it. And MJF is like just common internet troll at this point. On the mic, I mean, he's not a bad wrestler. Shocking when he did that stuff at first. But now it's just kind of like, oh, wow, you said that thing that people say to each other on the internet, but you said it on TV. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me, which is part of the reason I don't really watch the show. I don't walk around, digging on AEW all the time. If people want to watch them, go ahead. But like, those are just kind of some of the reasons I'm not super into them. Do I think Claudio would bring up John Cena? I doubt it. Now I did see that I saw Matt Cardona did at an indie show. He kind of recreated the same thing John Cena did and said hi to John Cena in the camera. But yeah, I doubt it. I wouldn't see Claudio doing it on TV, which is ironic considering how often AEW has mentioned WWE on TV over the years. But And Statlander joining the Death Riders. Man, I don't know. How do you feel about that, George? You tell me. How do you feel about Statlander joining the Death Riders? How do you feel about the Death Riders in general? All right, here's a Chase U segment before we get the rest of the more classroom work. Let's see what Professor Chase has to say. Okay, telling Chase U they need to toughen up. You think the Death Riders have been stale and boring? Well, I don't think you're alone. I don't think you're alone in that assessment. That tends to be the most common assessment I see of the Death Riders these days. Yeah, now if Moxley said hi to John, actually, I think that could be kind of funny. You don't think Moxley is going to lose either? Yeah, I mean, the prevailing theory has been that Darby Allin was going to be the one to beat him, right? Although, also what I've been hearing a lot from people too, though, is they should not be afraid to just pivot and give that moment to Hangman instead, because Hangman seems to be really over with the crowd these days. And I mean, maybe as over as he was when he beat, was it Kenny he beat for the title, for his first title? Doing one of those. I think pivoting is not a bad thing if you've got a hot hand, So we'll see. I'm sorry guys, my stream has not been great tonight. It's clogged me up a couple of times here. So I'm just trying to get this situated here. Okay. All right. Now we're back. Eddie Kingston.
The same university that you two wanted to be a part of. Respect the fact that I know what I'm doing. My university, that's the attitude that built the university. And it's also what destroyed it.
This is like playing out like Saved by the Bell or something like that. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, geez. All right. Well, next week we're getting Inamura and Jasper Troy. I don't like that. It should be both of them. It's at Great American Bash. We should get all three. We deserve all three. I don't like that one bit. Miles Bourne and Lexus King next week. Light work for Miles Bourne, probably. No disrespect to the young Pillman. And then Joe Hendry and Wesley. Okay, let me see if I can get us back to live. Oh my. You could see Oba getting involved in the match. That's actually not a bad thought. I think Oba getting involved could actually give it to Inamura. It could go either way, I suppose. But yeah, I don't want to see Jasper Troy beating Inamura. Because we've already seen Oba and Jasper Troy once, which was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. I want to see Inamura get his shot, even if Oba puts him down. So, all right, sorry, I appear to be live with you guys now. My stream has just degraded over the course of the show, and I'm very frustrated by that. I'm sorry, you guys, but Lash is going on a display here, though. Izzy coming in to challenge Lash now. Man, chop from Lash to Izzy. Okay. Yeah, George. I mean, like, I'm almost always going to be a fan of the fresh matchup, if we don't have one, or the multi-man match, rather than a repeat of a one-on-one we've already gotten. Man, Lash just smacked Jordynne with a back elbow. I tell you what, we all know that we all know that Jordynne is not the most tall and imposing, but man, she really looks small next to Lash. It's crazy. All right, fisherman suplex, perfect plex from Jordynne, but only gets 2 from an interfering Izzy. Man. Izzy seems the least likely out of everybody to match up with JC, The only scenario I could see is if somehow at Evolution Blake Monroe is already champion. But even then, Izzy is not one. Man, that was a hard shoulder block from sorry, not Kalani, Jaida. She got Jordynne locked up. Faceplant suplex. Oh, man, going for that hypnotic, but Lash pulls her out of the ring, smacks her on the announce table. Lash really seems to be all right. Oh, she gets hit with a suicide dive from Jordynne Grace. Now Izzy going for a choke slam. Choke slams Jordynne Grace on the apron. And here comes Jaida again with a brutal shoulder tackle on Izzy. Loud NXT chants from the faithful. Oh, Tatum is interfered now. Grabbed Jada's leg. I know Jada's sick and tired of people grabbing her legs. I'll tell you that. Oh, here comes Sol Ruka and Zarya coming out to talk to Tatum. Oh, Zarya just comes out. She just comes out. She's like, I'm going to handle this now. Just picks up Tatum and carries her right out. And Sol's like, deuces, Izzy. You're on your own, girl. Meanwhile, Fatal Influence sitting in 3 little director's chairs off in the corner, just watching the match. And Lash has returned to start throwing hands. A little fantasy booking here from George. If we get JC Jane versus Blake Monroe for the Women's Championship at Great American Bash and Blake Monroe wins, do we get Blake Monroe versus Jordynne Grace at Evolution? Well, I'll tell you this. It is for the branding and the marketing is very clear that this is a number one contenders match for Evolution. So whoever wins this match has a title shot at Evolution. It does not matter who the champion is. So I do think there is absolutely an opportunity to move that belt off JC Jane before Evolution. And I think putting it on Blake Monroe and giving us Blake Monroe versus Jordynne Grace or Blake Monroe versus Lash Legend, any of those things would be fine. But I do think the money match would be Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace at Evolution, if that was the case. So it'll be telling if we even have a shot of that by the end of this match, by who wins. Sorry, my stream is frozen again. So I apologize, guys. I just got it back. Here. But it's been quite frustrating tonight. So, all right. Yeah, I think Cody Rhodes' face run is going to go as long as he wants it to go. I mean, or at least they want him to go. If Cody ever turns heel, I don't want The Rock involved. Like, I just don't want, I know it's salty of me, but I don't want The Rock to have the satisfaction. Like, the way he has messed up wrestling booking over the past couple of years, I just don't want him involved. I do not have a clue what Lash was trying to do there. Trying to smack Jada's head in between the ropes. It just looked silly. Oh, Lash Legend has got Jordynne on her back and Izzi on her front, and now she's doing that same stupid move again into the ropes. I can't believe Lash did that move twice. Y'all, Sophie is repeating the rumor that Steve Austin has said he might have one more match in him. Tell me, if you can only get one match left out of Stone Cold Steve Austin, who do you pair him with? Only one match and just one-on-one. Who do you have Steve Austin face in his true last match? Meanwhile, Jaida got a sleeper on Lash. Meanwhile, Jordynne putting Izzi in a camel clutch. Is one of them going to tap? Oh, Jordynne and Jaida now just smacking each other. That first smack from Jordynne was legit, too. Are we calling Izzi a powerhouse in this match, Big Joseph? That sentence is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Okay, looks like we're about to get some high stepping. Izzi is panicking. Oh, smacks Izzi, and here comes Jaida. Here comes Miss Parker. Oh, she's going to double up. She's going to hit Jordynne with one, too. Crowd chanting along like Stephanie Vicari used to. Oh, Lash went with the pump kick, but Jaida, she's got Lash up on her shoulders. Samoan drop. She struggled, but she got her up. John Cena or Jey Uso. Okay. Big boot from Izzi onto Jaida. Now she's grabbing Jordynne. Got her up for a slam. Okay. Swinging move. Oh, only two, though, as Lash breaks up the pin. This is awesome chance from the NXT faithful. I don't mind Jada's corner move as a signature move. The hypnotic, when she can hit it at certain points, it's pretty good. Man, Lash in the side slam position and doing knee lifts into the ribs of Jaida Parker. Now going for a pin. Only 2. Man, big smack by Jordynne Grace on the Lash Legend, who's going up top. Lash smacks her back. Justin, I would absolutely hate What versus Yeet. I would have to watch that match on mute. I think that would drive me crazy. CM Punk, I think, would be a great would be a great feud. It would be great promos, that's for sure. Uh-oh. Lash has got Jaida in the Doomsday position on her shoulders while Jordynne is on the top, but reversing into a sunset flip. Lash can't get down. Jordynne's still on top, though. Is she going to do anything? Oh. High cross body. Oh. 2.99. Jordynne Grace hit her high cross body off the top, which sent Lash into a sunset flip. Rolled off. Jaida only got 2, though, because Izzi interfered. Boos and yays coming from Izzi and Jaida. Okay, we got to be getting close to a finish here. Uh-oh. Lash is climbing up. So Izzy's got a Jaida in the superplex position, but now Lash is getting up there for a double superplex. Here comes Jordynne. Jordynne is climbing from behind. What is she about to sunset flip and double power bomb superplex Tower of Doom spot? Nuts. All of Fatal Influence with in shock from that spot. Recoiling is the word I was looking for. Man, Jordynne went for a cover on Lash, only got 2. Went for a cover on Izzi, only on 2. Is she going to crawl over to Jaida? And only 2 on Jaida as well. Jordynne crashing out a little bit. Is she going to go for a finish? World's strongest slam on Jaida from Jordynne. Going up. Vader bomb. Nobody home. Jaida off the rope. Hypnotic. But Jordynne spills out the ring. Oh, top rope. Code breaker. Pump kick. Jaida just took 2 different finishers. Lash. Oh, drops Izzi. Now it's just Jaida and Lash in the ring. Okay. Lash about to hit her finish. Is that it? I see Jordynne in the corner. No. Springboard double stomp on the back of Lash from Jordynne. Big kick. Looks like Jada's set to take the pin here. Burning Hammer / KOD coming from Jordynne Grace. Spin around into the Blue Thunder Bomb. 2. That's 3. Jordynne Grace takes the win. My goodness gracious. So Jordynne Grace is going to Evolution, and Jordynne Grace will challenge for the NXT Women's Championship at Evolution. If she wins, finally one of my predictions for this year will come true of Jordynne Grace winning gold in WWE. Shamanika, that's a good question. They'll probably only have 4 matches or so on Saturday night's main event. We know that Gunther and Goldberg is one of them already. Between Great American Bash on Saturday as well and Evolution on Sunday. Yeah. Well, we don't know that JC will be defending at Great American Bash yet. So we don't know if she'll compete twice in. Because all she's been booked for is Evolution. Right now, they're labeling it JC Jane versus Jordynne Grace at Evolution. So we'll see. We'll see if she defends the day before at Great American Bash, but she may not. So we'll see. And then again next week, Jasper Troy and Inamura, #1 contenders match for Great American Bash. And let's all hope that Inamura can pull one out so we can have a big, nasty match between those two heavy hitters. And then also next week, Joe Hendry on loan from TNA takes on Wesley. Oh, my gosh. Mandy Rose at Evolution. No, thank you. I think she's doing fine without WWE these days. So we don't need her, and she don't need us either. Jordynne Grace standing on the corner, staring down all of Fatal Influence. Will the numbers game be too much for her at Evolution? Yeah, they might have one women's match at Saturday night's main event. All right. Drop your ratings in the chat, everybody. George has gotten ahead of us, giving a solid 8.5. Solid show tonight. What do you guys have? There is no Blake Monroe tonight. Nothing but a previously on NXT segment for Blake Monroe. She's not in the house tonight. All right, guys. Yeah, let's share those. Lash has gotten better in the ring. Yeah, I agree, Rickard. Absolutely. Anthony gives it an 8 out of 10. Justin doesn't think Jasper is ready for Inamura's strong style. I think as much as I was disappointed to not see that was going to be a triple threat right away, I do think that Jasper and Inamura will be a lot of fun. 10 out of 10 Sharks, Jamie's. Okay. 10 out of 10 for Justin. Love it. All right, let's bring those ratings into the chat before we wrap up tonight. Yeah, I would I think I give it an 8 out of 10. We're setting up Great American Bash, and we're setting up let's see, and then Evolution as well. So things are going to be coming along. Last match was a great main event. Great stuff there. And so, well, thank you, Sophie, for giving me 10 out of 10. I appreciate it. I don't think I gave a 10 out of 10 performance tonight. But nevertheless, I appreciate your support. And yeah, so good, solid match. Rickard gives 8 out of 10. All right. Well, great, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Stay around this week on the channel. Obviously, we have all the streaming of the TV shows of the weekly programs. We'll also be doing the Coalition will, in some form or fashion, be giving Night of Champions predictions before the end of the week, before the show. And also follow me, screen.stream.shelf on Instagram and TikTok. I've got more movie reviews coming this week. Looking to do another WWE tournament soon on 2K. I'll try to drop that as well. And as always, we're here every week for NXT. We'll be here for Great American Bash. I will see what I can do about other shows. I may go early for SmackDown on Friday as well, since it is live in Riyadh. So I may do that as well. So just keep your eyes and stay subscribed to the channel. Hit that like button, hit that bell, make sure you're subscribed, and you'll always know when I'm going to show up and when we can watch wrestling together. Don't forget to believe. Believing makes wrestling better. Thank you, Rickard. Now, then, forever marked. Stay marked, you guys. Look out for the poll after the show tonight for the marked moment. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves, and I will mark with you again very soon. Take care, guys. Have a great night.